Hello and very good afternoon to all our viewers. You're watching www.ThePapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub. And today's game we are bringing you live from the Royal Sports Complex between St. Thomas College versus Zahira College, Colombo. And this is Milo President Trophy 2016. And this is the last quarterfinals of the knockout stages, whereas the winner of this game will be taking on Royal College on coming Sunday at this same venue. And also just want to bring you the other updates in this knockout clash. The first quarterfinals between Isipatana versus DS Senanayaka. Isipatana got a walkover. As a result, they will be taking St. Peter's, who won against St. Anthony's in a very entertaining game. It's a tri-fest. And then we had the third quarterfinals. Then we had the third quarterfinals. That was yesterday between Wesley College and Royal College. 29 points to 22 was the final score. And Royal winning that convincingly after the battle of 80 minutes. So today's game, St. Thomas's versus underdog Zahira College, I would say. Because Zahira, of course, they played in this segment 2 and they were unbeaten in their all 5 games. And in the second round competition, or in other words, in the plate competition, Zahira beat Prince of Wales and CWW Kannangara. But they drew against DS Senanayaka College and they lost to St. Joseph's in a nail-biter. 20 points to 21 points was the score on that game. However, St. Joseph's pulled off from this tournament. As a result, Zahira getting a chance to play for this knockout tournament. So St. Thomas are clear favorites. They have arrested few players as well. We'll see who are they in a moment with the team cards. But the weather condition here, it's very humid, and I'm sure both the teams will get a minute break after the first quarter and the third quarter, which happened for the previous games as well in the knockout stages. So it will definitely be an exciting game, hopefully, because Zahira, they have nothing to lose. And the way they played against St. Joseph, they are taking that as a lesson. That's what Coach Shamli Nawaz said just before their practicing session a while ago. And so they know the threat, they know how big St. Thomas's are. And St. Thomas's, of course, the league runners-up. And they'll be looking for a crown, a title under their belt, because they not only the runners-up, they actually won the 7th tournament in early this year. As a result, they still remains favorite to win this President Trophy. So it's all happening here very soon. The teams are just warming up, and we'll be right back after the break with the team cards and the kickoff. Stay tuned to www.thepapare.com.
I start each day with a dream to win. Training, working hard, rain. How strong the other team is, nothing can stop me.
Nourishing Milo with its unique combination of chocolate, malted barley and B vitamins, together with the goodness of milk, brings out the winner in you. Milo, fueling the winning spirit.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every step you take.
Progress starts with a dream. Through connectivity, technology, and talent, that dream can become a reality. Axiata, with you every step you take.
Good afternoon and welcome to the fourth and final quarter-final lineup match for the President's Trophy knockout tournament here live from the Royal College grounds. St. Thomas is taking on challengers Zahira, and Zahira hoping to put in a giant killing performance. The winner of this match are awaited by Royal, who won yesterday against a strong Wesley College side. They played very well, Royal, to completely shut out that fast-running Wesley team, but they will be in for a treat today to look at the opposition that they're going to face. Whether it's going to be Zahira or whether it's going to be St. Thomas's, we'll find out in just over 80 minutes time. But this Zahira team, Sabir, have been performing very well under the radar. They've done very well in their division. They almost beat St. Joseph's as well, came within 1 point of beating an A division side, and they will be confident for today's game. They've got nothing to lose, really.
Absolutely, Shanaka. They don't have nothing to lose indeed, because they have a very good coaching setup. Especially Shamli Nawaz have done a lot of work coming from the Isipatana. We know how instinct-wise, mental and physical instinct-wise Isipatana play. We saw that even in the final. So he's giving all his experience to this team, and they're looking different unit compared to last season and previous 2-3 seasons, Shanaka.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an interesting match tactically as well, because Shamli Nawaz is one of the shrewdest tacticians that I know. He really understands how to read the opposition team and how to put maybe balls in behind this St. Thomas's College team. Historically, Zahira have been a team that has recently been known more for football rather than anything else, and we may have a little bit of that coming through with them using their kicking against the strong St. Thomas's lineup too. Adish Adulpatrana starts alongside his captain Pandala De Silva and Chirant Abevikrama in place of the vice captain. Wayne Mack, Abhida Pilipitia coming in place of Hasita Senanayaka into the second row. Kavin Jayasekara, Joshua Delisle and Shani Vahangama starts at number 8 in the absence of Sachita Jayatilaka. Dion Dias gets a rare start at number 9. Bhuminda Disanayaka. Chanuchak Manoratna is the one who starts on the left wing. Ashwanta Herath retains his place at 12. Pravin Ferdinando comes in at 13 in place of Sarit Nanayakkara. Navin Henakan Kanamge, the season's top try scorer, and the other dangerous weapon is Mayon Jayawardhan. If he's fully fit, will be a handful for this Zahira College side. But a couple of changes there that Coach Laga may be enforced changes, or he might be trying to rest a few players in the hope that they will make it to the quarterfinals, Sabir.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. I had a word with Laga just while entering the grounds, and he said they want to try a few players who can play next season as well. So this is one good opportunity that they can get and try and give some match timing. But having said that, he also mentioned that they are not underestimating this talent, because he has watched a few Zahira games, and he knows how quickly they are playing, how quickly they are reacting. But they still have some... even he was mentioning that, Shanaka, whether Zahira can sustain that 80 minutes. That's what he was mentioning. So we'll wait and see. And we can go with the Zahira team card. Elshan Elahmed and Mohammad Elias, Mohammad Dean, and Sharik Yusuf and Isran Nilar at the lock combination, and Ishaq Hilmi, Wajid Fahmi, Hamid Safu in the backs for this Zahira College team, and Shifaz Ahmed, he's supposed to be a key player, the scrum half, and Mohammad Zaid is another fly half who can kick quite well, perhaps not as good as Samuel Madhuanta, but he still can make some good distant kicks. And Yazran Lantra is in the wing position. Hassan Razik and Ramzan with in the center combination. Minhaj Samsudin and Nirhan Gunavijay will be the remaining backs for Zahira College. And let's have a look at the subs.
These St. Thomas's replacements: Vice Captain Deshapriya rested, Tehan Pereira, Shenuk Pereira the number 8, Ruchira Fernando, Dushan Atakorala, Shenal De Silva the scrum half, Hans Walpola the replacement fly half, Sharit Nanayakkara, Danuja Vijayaratna and Pasan Gunaratna, Muaz Musafris, Amjad Faumi, Shamin Nasser, Zaid Tajuddin, Iqbal Shamir, Buso, Umair Famis, Shamahil Suipe, and Akil Kadus and Mohammed Fayad making up the bench for this Zahira College side, who have everything to play for today. If they can make it to the semi-final against Royal College, that will be a huge feather in their cap this season. They're looking towards A Division rugby next season, so it is going to be a very important encounter for them, whereas St. Thomas's must not be complacent, as we see Zaid kicking the game off, and the immediately taken by Dion Dias, the scrum half who comes into the side, the youngster who made a huge difference to the Thomians in their Wesley College encounter, the Oliver Gunathilaka Trophy, a couple of years ago, and he now makes a start in play in favour of Shenal De Silva. Referee Dean Imal getting in the way there, unfortunately, of the St. Thomas's clear out. And you can see already Zahira not committing any numbers to the breakdown. Pandula De Silva. Here's quick hands to Wayne Mack. That's Navin Henakankanamge. Lovely inside ball to De Silva. Oh, and a lovely flick behind the back from Pandula De Silva. That's some Dane Cole stuff there. But unfortunately, the flick not going to hand. But St. Thomas is starting off with a little bit of enterprise.
How good is that, Chanaka? Look at the skill of the skipper, Pandula De Silva. He's going to the ground and lovely back flick. And good comeback, a good initial move by Dion Dias. He showed some great creativity from that breakdown.
Actually, what was really impressive for me, Sabir, was not the fact that Pandula actually made that pass, but the fact that he got there, because he handled the ball immediately from the ruck, and he actually was in support, the first man in support of Navin Henakankanamge, who's not slow by any stretch of the imagination. So for Pandula to be up there, I think that just shows the sort of desire that they've got in this game.
Absolutely brilliant.
First scrum of the match, and this will be where Zahira are tested, but that's well held up. And coming straight on the angle, says referee Dean Imal, of the loose head for St. Thomas's. That was Adi Shahadun Patirana on the loose head side. So early reprieve for Zahira in the scrum, but they look pretty set there, Sabir. It didn't look like they were under pressure at all.
Yes, Chanaka, still early days, but it's a good opportunity to come back into the opposite half once again, because they have to play most of the territorial game. I'm sure their captain in the center position and their fly half and fullback, they will join as much as first receiver option to kick this territorial game.
So it looks like Wajid Faumi will be the go-to man in the line out for Zahira, jumping in the number 2 position, and in the absence of Serenayaka, he should have some easy pickings. Pandula De Silva flings the hooker out of play. That's Muhammad Ilyas. Looked like a knock forward from the line out, but the referee letting it go. And this will be the first line out for the Thomians. And beautifully stolen by Mohammad Faumi there, but cleaning up nicely was the new man in the back row. That was Kavin Jayasekara, but they're conceding the penalty just a little bit too over-eager. Shani Vahangama flying in there and leaving their feet. So this will give the second penalty in as many minutes to Zahira. Put out there by Mohammad Zaid. He's wearing number 13 on his back, but playing at number 10. So early discipline problems, and that's happening because Zahira are just not committing any numbers to the ruck, Sabir. Smart play from them. Again, Faumi winning it. It's untidy ball, but cleaned up nicely by Elias. Quick hands from Zahira as Amit sends the ball to the open side. Here it is once again. Nice step to the middle by Zaid. The fringe defense for St. Thomas's not so good on that occasion. And the knock forward has come, so St. Thomas's will breathe a sigh of relief, because it looked very much like Zahira had their pattern sorted out there, Sabir, attacking straight up the middle.
Good show, Shanaka. Credits to that scrum half. He was trying to do what Dion Dias did a while ago for St. Thomas's, trying to break that first defender instead of sending the ball to the first receiver. but I'm not sure how long they can maintain like that ball position. But this is what happened when St. Anthony's played against St. Peter Shanaka. They came so good in the final stage, but when Samuel Madhwant at the fly half position, when he get the ball, he didn't have any supporters to send the ball out wide, just one man in the center.
Looks like Bhuminder Dissanayake has gone off for a bit of a blood injury, and Hans Walpola will come on early in the game. Sure, Dissanayake will be back. He didn't look too bad jogging off the field. But it'll be a baptism of fire by Walpola, especially that he needs to clear now. Danuja Wijeratne. Oh, that's a good scrum by Zahira. They've pretty much walked St. Thomas's off the ball. And the referee saying that was a wheel. I don't know why he didn't play advantage there. Just don't understand it. Hamid Saifu couldn't believe his luck when he found the ball at his feet. A superb run through by Zahira of the Stomian pack. This is what happened to them against Sisipatana as well. Something that they need to work on.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. But sometimes when you don't have big numbers also, it looks like an advantage. Especially contact going low in that scrum, Shanaka.
Yes, Saifu off the back. Scrum half goes to ground. He's not afraid to run the scrum half, but then that means somebody else needs to deputize at the back of the breakdown. Again, straight off the back of the ruck. Zahira attacking the fringes. Faumi. Zaid calling for it, but he's very close to the action. Here's the hooker, Ilyas. And holding on, says the referee. So good defense there from St. Thomas's. Danuja Wijeratne went in there and won the turnover, or won the penalty rather.
Yeah, Shanaka, this is where you need to be smart. When you go into contact, you cannot be isolated, especially with the St. Thomas's forward. They're very quick to turn over things, and you need support play on this occasion. This is what Zahira had to look after, because they have come into the opposite half second time and they are going without points.
Yes, they spent quite a bit of time in that 22 there. They'll be upset that they didn't come away with points. Danuja Wijeratne thumbs the ball out. He's the one who's been asked to take the touch kicks today. He's playing in the center position, is he? And that's stolen once again. So the Thomian set piece struggling here. And now Zahira can work it through the hands. Wijeratne comes up and makes a good tackle. But the ball's available for Zahira, who have made all the plays so far. Zaid has no option but to tuck it in and go after it. Here's Faumi once again. He's one of their chief ball carriers. Elusive forward, presents it nicely for his scrum half. And again, Ferdinando coming up very quickly, but little too quickly, says the referee. Here's Faumi once again. Almost made the offload, but Pandula De Silva manages to wrestle the ball off him. But Ferdinando's defense was a little too fast, says the referee.
We are heading to 8 minutes, Shanaka. It's been so far entertaining in terms of how Zahira playing this game. Like everyone predicts that they have to hang this for 80 minutes. St. Thomas still didn't have much options.
Well, hanging in for 80 minutes or 120 minutes is not a problem if you've got all the balls, Sabir, and that's exactly what they've got. They've stolen the ball off the line out a couple of times. They've really done well in a tight head scrum. So things not looking great. Unless St. Thomas's can get their set piece working, could be a long afternoon for them.
And it's quite shocking. 2 line-outs were stolen, Shanaka.
Ilyas to throw into this line-out. And they've got another option. And once again, the ball is untidy, but it's still available. Kavin Jayasekara makes the hit, telling hit as well. Coming in on the angle was Hassan Razik. Good tackle by Abe Vikrama. Looking for the ball, and that's not a good collection there, but the ball went back, says the referee. That's a lovely angle again by Mohamed Faumi. He's been doing lots of meters in this opening stanza of the game. Ferdinando with a good tackle. And winning the ball there. Once again, second turnover won by Danuja Wijeratne. And this is where it pays to have a guy who's played in the forwards. playing in the backs, Sabir, because you've got those skills, that instinct to go after the turnover, which sometimes backs don't have yet.
And this time the kick doesn't find touch, Shanaka. He's trying to put some extra yards on that.
Desperate to get into the opposition half, I would think. But Navin Henakan Kanamge shadows his opposite number here. Manages to throw him out into touch. That's the safest thing to do, really. And Minhaj Samsudin coming up against the season's top try scorer and came off second best that time. But I'm sure he would love to try and burn Navin on the outside. That would make his season. So another line out now for De Silva and his forwards to get things right. Oh, and another steal. Well done by Zahira there, and Ihsan Ilhamat banging that straight up the middle. A lovely pop pass, and Faumi has been on the end of all the carries here. Dion Dias though. In fact, this is Kavin Jayawardena. Kavin Jayasekara, who sped down the Abhita Navaratna rather, who sped down the line there. Just didn't manage to hold on to the ball to find a support player on the inside. So as you said, Sabir, just not able to sustain the pressure that Zahira have been putting on. That was better work from Navaratna. Long pass by Dion Dias, and Ashwanta Herath has the first chance to have a touch. Dion Dias once again to Hans Walpola. Walpola isolated, needs help, and he gets it from Danuja Vijayaratna and Pandula De Silva now. Good work from the hooker to get there. Good work once again from Abhay Vikrama, or Jayasekara rather, Kavin Jayasekara. And the referee's got his arm up for a penalty.
Look at the numbers, Shanaka. Number 24-19. They are very much close, but St. Thomas can play that game because they have big forwards. But Zahira should not be so closer. They should have form a bit deeper. Then how they can create some space and work through, which didn't happen in the opposite red zone when they were entered last time.
Yes, you're right, Sabir. I think they need to play with a little bit of depth because the St. Thomas's defensive line is big and strong. They're not going for the points here, so I don't know whether that's the right call. You've got to respect your opponent, get some points on the board. Joshua Delisle. Dias with a good pass that time. Danuja Vijayaratna will back himself into the corner, and yes, he does. Danuja Vijayaratna, just too much pace and power for the Zahira defense there. It looked like Hassan Razik who shepherded Danuja Vijayaratna into the corner, but just not enough to drag the player down. So first time they've gone into the opposition 22, they've come away with points.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. Like you said, it's not a confident, in fact, it's a confident take to take that tap, Shanaka. They have so much confidence in the team, despite they did not have the success in the scrums and the lineouts.
Danuja Vijayaratna in the starting lineup, although he was listed on the reserves bench earlier. Looks like Mayon Jayawardena is the man who's listed on the team sheet, but is not actually on the pitch. So Danuja goes into the left wing position, and we have Chanuka, who is at fullback. Or it may be the other way around. Danuja at fullback, really. The kick is no good from Ashwanta Herath, but still that 5-pointer will settle the nerves nicely for St. Thomas's after a very good opening passage of play from Zahira. Just didn't have the finish. And it's important here, Sabir, that Zahira don't let their heads drop. They're just 5 points behind. They've had a lot of possession, they've had a lot of territory, and they've had the better of the set pieces. So they must know that this is not the beginning of the end. This is just a small setback.
Yes, indeed, but unfortunately that kick doesn't find 10 meters.
This lad, Mohammad Fahmy, has really impressed me. Wajid Fahmy, rather, has really impressed me in the scrum cap, the number 7. He's all over the park. He's getting on the end of all the little inside balls, the offloads. He's a willing ball carrier at first receiver as well, and he's been excellent in the line-out so far. Really one to watch.
And also his opposite number, Christian Delisle. He's the one who took that quick tap.
I like Delisle's game, Sabir, but I don't like it so much when he concentrates on carrying the ball, because I think there's a lot more that he can do when he doesn't have that responsibility. Shani Vahangama comes off the back, so a very concerted wheel to the right from Zahira. They're using it well. Dion Dias takes it quickly again, gives it to his captain, Wayne Mack. Navin Henekan Kanamge trying to go on the outside, but well tackled that time by Hassan Razik. Dion Dias. Here's Hadun Patirana, leaves the ball behind. But referee says there was a penalty before for not rolling away.
Zahira has to keep their discipline, Shanaka. They can't give these a smaller infringement at the breakdowns.
Interesting to note the penalty count already. Quite a few penalties given away by both teams.
And we're into 17th minute, Shanaka. It's just a 5-0. And also the weather is playing its part now. It's been so cool. It was so humid while ago.
Yes, the sun has pleasantly gone behind a cloud, which is always very good when you're out there, because the dehydration that the sun brings with it is something that really hits home in the last 60 minutes, in the last 20 minutes rather.
Another steal, Shanaka.
It's untidy ball, but Zahira will try to make use of it. Nice step back on the inside by Ramzan Amit. Again, there's not enough depth. You called it, Sabir. There's just not enough depth on this Zahira attacking line. They need to stand a little further behind the breakdown. Ferdinando at the back. He wasn't looking into the sun, but just purely misjudged that. And that'll be carried back into the 22. So, oh no, Christian Delisle, what was he thinking? Really needed to retire. He was well in front of the kicker, just completely lost his concentration. That's a basic fundamental rule. He needed to retire 10 meters.
How good is that kick, Shanaka, from Hassan Razik? He just timed that into perfection to the open space. You cannot predict the rugby ball bounce. Ferdinando was in trouble. He had Navin Henakan on his right, but he still opted to go into touch to play it safe.
Well, he couldn't go to touch either, could he? Because he carried it back. So there was that to think of. But Navin had a bit of room to run. Perhaps just giving it to him and asking him to have a crack might have been the option, but it's easy for us to talk here. Wow. Nice break by the number 8. Does really well. Hamid Safu. And they've won the penalty again. St. Thomas's will need to be careful here. They weren't 10 meters by the looks of things, and almost over the line. Great defense by Ashwant Taherat there on the line. Zahira just using each forward as a battering ram there. They know they're just inches short. Just not able to get the ball away. It was a forward pass. You can see Fahmy just having a go at his teammate there. But you can't blame the boy for throwing the forward pass, because the ball recipient was well in front of him. But just a lapse in concentration by St. Thomas's, putting them under huge pressure here.
Absolutely entertaining first quarter, Shanaka. And I'm sure St. Thomas's maybe would not expect their opposition to play as much as they are delivering today.
Well, I think if they imagined that any side coached by Shamli Nawaz was going to roll over and play dead, Sabir, I think they had another thing coming. Well, again, the ball stolen in the scrum. Big run there from the number 3, Muhammad. Great couple of carries. Danuja Wijayaratne turns the ball over, but referee says a ruck was formed. I'm not sure he got that right, but it doesn't matter. Oh, straight over. That's a try. Beautifully done by Mohammad Elias. The little hooker just went under everybody, Sabir. Outstanding work from the Zahira pack. They took on the Thomian pack and they just went under them, used their legs, used their body position, and have fought back and are in a position to get the lead as well.
Yes, indeed, Shanaka. Absolutely brilliant play. Well, very calm, very composed on that pick and drive. And luckily, the scrum also overturning. And this is good sign. Also, crowd is in numbers for Zahira in the Sky Pavilion side. This is good start. And the kicker, I think it's Zaid who's going to take the kick.
Looks like it's Ramzan Amit. The number 15 actually, it's Nirhan Gunavijaya.
Nirhan's father, of course, accounts teacher at Zahira College.
And yes, Zahira have the lead in the 22nd minute. There's been nothing to choose from between these two sides, but if you had to pick a winner at this point in time, you'd have to give it to Zahira because they've made all the play. St. Thomas's have only put themselves under a little bit of pressure and will need to settle down. They're slow starters usually, Sabir. We've noticed that over the course of this season. But with some of their senior players rested as well, this will be a good test for next year's team.
It is indeed, Chanaka. And it's 7 points to 5 in favor of Zahira College.
That's a good kick by Ashwanta Herath. It doesn't look like Bhumendra Disanayaka has made his way back onto the park. Praveen Ferdinando is at full back and they will be expecting the kick. And that was carried back, so they'll come all the way back to the 22. And these are the mistakes, Sabir. We saw just a few minutes earlier, Christian Delisle made a mistake. And he put his team under pressure, conceded a try, and now again, just kicking the ball out on the full from their 22. Have they put themselves under pressure as well? So this is where teams just allow the opposition back into the game.
Indeed, you can see the coach Nawaz was so disappointed with that. Once again, controlling nicely, but Zahira defending this so good, Chanaka.
Yes, they've driven it sideways as well. And that's really good defense. The rolling maul is not a thing that you can defend easily, but Zahira's body position was excellent there. Shani Vahangama once again carrying the ball in the absence of Sachita Jatilaka. He'll have to do a bit more ball carrying from number 8. Jatilaka suffering an injury to his hand that had an operation last week. Walpola to Danuja Wijayaratne, and again Wijayaratne bursting straight through the middle. The penalty coming. And if I was before this game, I would have imagined that Pandula De Silva would call for the scrum from a position like that. But this Zahira scrum has been so good, Sabir, that I would not be surprised if they went for the posts.
Doesn't look like it. They're going to take the quick tap, I reckon, Chanaka.
Indeed they are. Dion Dias, Handun Patirana fighting his way towards the line. Brave defense on him by Muhammadin. Dion Dias switches direction. Wayne Mack. This is where St. Thomas's need to not be isolated. Ashwanta Herath. Walpola needs to get there and ruck, which he does now. Pandula De Silva sees the line. And again, great defense there close to the breakdown. Oh dear, that's a tough call. Yes, Wayne Mack did leave his feet, but it's very difficult to keep your feet in situations like that.
I also think Shanaka St. Thomas's are losing their mind game. Shanaka, you need to get some points. At the end of the day, points what counts. It's true, it's obvious. You can see like smaller forwards in your opposite teams, but you need to get the points on board and then come back again, because every time you have the lead, it gives you momentum.
Taken by Chanuka, and now Ferdinando will look for Henakan Kanamge. Has a chance to make a run, breaks the first tackle as he always does. Somebody needs to help him out, as Ferdinando does. Good ball inside to Christian Delisle. And now they have numbers on the outside, but coming back in is Charit Abevikrama. Good run from the big prop forward in his first start today. And knocked forward, but the referee looked like he had his arm out for an advantage. I'd be surprised if there wasn't some dodginess on the ground there, which the referee missed.
Even I thought he's playing advantage, but Dion Dyer is trying to send the ball quickly out wide. Unfortunately, he fumbles. Once again inside the jail, Shanaka.
Let's see what this Thomian pack can do. You look at the rounded back of Charit Abevikrama on this close side, tight head side, Sabir. You can see how round his lower back is, and that's never a good position to push. Means that all your pressure is coming from the neck and above your middle back.
Looks like two early changes coming in.
Well, I think Coach Laga has realized that this is not going to be a pushover, if you'll pardon the pun. So he's brought in Adakorala, and he's also brought in Tehan Pereira, the experienced props. So that's a moral victory for Zahira. Straight onto the roof, so not much distance gain. But I'll tell you what, Sabir, if I was a Zahira front row and I saw Coach Laga emptying his bench in as early as before the half hour and sending on his experienced props, I'll be patting myself on the back.
Absolutely, Shanaka, but I'm not sure whether the players do know that the players who replace now are the first choice front rowers. Having said that, now they had the opportunity also. They could have worked the ball, Shanaka, in the previous scrum.
Again, very untidy line out. And again, superb body position in the ruck from Zahira. Unlucky to concede a penalty there, I thought. I think he went over the ball and then lost it. Here's Tehan Pereira, Wayne Mack. Got to look for the offloads, or they've got to make sure that they're close behind. Tehan Pereira, good defense on him by Ishak Hilmi. Dion Dias goes in after the ball. Hans Walpola shows the dummy, and beautiful offload from Walpola. And Danuja Vijayaratna goes over for his second try. Lovely offload from Hans Walpola, but that was made by the forwards after Zahira had conceded an unlucky penalty, I thought, and Vijayaratna goes in for his second try.
Absolutely great anticipation, Shanaka. His running angle was impressive. We saw he's running to his left in the previous encounter as well. So this time great awareness and anticipation from Dion Dias to accept that offload and go into his second try. This guy also played as number 8, also played as a winger, and this time he's playing in the midfield center position.
Well, I think he's listed on the left wing, Sabir, but he's popping up in every position that he can be a threat, which is not a bad thing. He's been the guy who's made a big difference on the defensive and attacking end for St. Thomas's so far, as Ashwant Taherat knocks that conversion over. So 12 points to 7. And as Laga was saying, the test for Zahira with is whether they can last at 80 minutes. And usually that happens when a team is on the defensive most of the time, Sabi, that you can't last 80 minutes. But Zahira had a lot of ball in hand.
And here's a restart.
Mohammad Zaid with a nice hanging kick goes once again to Dion Dias. Walpola, good confidence from him. Dummies and kicks. He'll feel a bit better after his lovely offload which created that try. And it looks like Bhuminder Dissanayake won't be making a comeback. So Walpola will have to see out this game. He's also a player that can play next year, so it's not a terrible return for Coach Laga. As you were saying, he wants to play some next year players. Here's Faumi, and the first mistake from Faumi there. Shani Vahangama steps nicely. He's got good feet, this lad, for a forward. Goes back and presents the ball beautifully for Dion Dias. Walpola spots the gap, puts the kick through for Ferdinando to chase. It's an excellent kick. Well spotted there. Malinda Deshapriya warming up on the touchline. Helps his buddy out, but that was a great option from Walpola.
You're right, Shanaka. That has given Absolute so much confidence after that offload. And here he goes, steps out and he sees the open space, and that's a kick to gain 40 meter almost.
Might have put the hammer down himself, Sabir, instead of even looking for the kick. He had men on the outside, but it's not a terrible return. Oh dear. Let down by his lifters there was Wajid Faumi. Gets up and gets on with it. And a nice box kick coming in there from Shiraz Ahmed. Chanuka takes it well under severe pressure. And reclaiming that one was Ashwant Herath, who tidied it up by staying on his feet for just long enough for support to arrive. But again, Chanuka straight off his feet. And I know the referees have to be strict on this, Sabir, but sometimes you've got to empathize with the players and realize that they're trying to keep their feet, but it's just not possible in certain situations. So if you've got the ball, if you want it cleanly, I think just sometimes play on.
It keeps missing in a few matches we saw, Shanaka, but this is where sometimes you need the assistant referee's call, because both the assistant referees are watching from either side, so perhaps they can give a word or two. But at that time, Shanaka, referee Dinimal it was happening in front of him.
As long as the referees are consistent, I guess you can have no complaints. Wajid Faumi again. That's definitely getting in the way of that maul, and Pilapitia. Navin Henakan Kanamge now. Good tackle on him. That was from Gunavijay. Just couldn't complete the tackle though, and Navin does beautifully to place that ball back. Ball still bouncing in the field of play. That kick was from Chanuka, and it just stays in. And Gunavijay gets back to put in the clearance kick. Walpola. Danuja Vijayaratna now has got a lot of confidence after his 2 tries. Walpola gets there and rucks. Offside, says the referee, so unlucky for Zahira once again. We're in front of the kicker. And Pandura De Silva has very correctly asked for the scrum from where the ball was kicked. You've got to retire 10 meters from the receiving player and then allow him to play the ball before advancing, or before being put on side, or until he's run 10 meters. It's a complicated law, but Zahira fell foul of it.
And we are not having a good scene. Zahira number 12, Shanaka, Hassan Razik, he's nursing an injury. Looks like his left shoulder have popped up.
Yes, that doesn't look good for Hassan Razik. He's got some mobility in his shoulders, so that's a good thing. That's off your screen. Physio Basit attending to him, but they're a man down in the defensive line. Let's see whether the replacements that have been sent on will make a difference to the Thomian scrum now. Dias clears from the base quickly. Ashwant Herath now stays on his feet. It's a strong lad. Dias finds his captain. Beautiful tackle on him once again from Faumi. Wajid Faumi is having an outstanding game so far. Tehan Pereira picks up and goes. Gets close. And that's a lovely angle, but unfortunately can't hold on to the ball. That was Tehan Pereira again, who ran a beautiful angle for the offload from Dion Dias, but just left the ball behind.
Absolutely brilliant passage, Shanak. I like the way that flanker Fahmy made that tackle. He's not just tackling, he also showing some offload ability, and he also stolen 3 lineouts in the early passage of play. So he's been instrumental so far.
Yes, he looks to me, Sabir. I know it's early doors, but he looks like a complete player.
Well, that's the position your coach played. Maybe you cannot get out of his control on that position, Shanak.
Well, it's where he started, Sabir, but he moved to number 8 later on in his career. It's probably one of the best number 8s I've seen. Had the privilege of playing against him as well, and I won that game, which was fun for me. Good clearance from Zahira that time. The good exit strategy from that scrum. 8-9 and bang it out.
Five minutes to go for the half time. It's 12 points to 7. Did you expect this score?
Well, I knew that Zahira were not a pushover side, Sabir, and I only found out that Shamli Nawaz was coaching them very recently. And that's when I realized they were going to be even more difficult than usual. Coming in straight from the side, says the referee.
It's a penalty. I think they should have kicked that into touch and play a territorial game, but it doesn't matter as the scum half rescues that, Shanaga.
Yes, beautiful work there from Ahmed. Real speed that he's got and staying strong in the tackles, and Thomas is falling off the tackles as well. Finally, Chanuka nabs his man, but Zahira with their tails up. Opting to go on the blind side. Zahira College crowd next to us getting really vociferous now. They're sensing a little bit of blood here. Big carry from Dean. Ashwant Herat up really quickly in defense, so there's no option but for the Zahira ball carrier to go on the opposite side. Again, Zaid. Referee saying tackler not rolling away. And why not go for touch, Sabir, now?
Yes, Shanaga, they have been so good in the lineouts. They just need to set up this.
Well,
perhaps he heard your call, Shanaga.
Looks like he heard us, and
I saw Shamli Nawaz calling it for the post.
Shamli Nawaz from the bench calling for the post, but maybe they misheard him, or maybe he was pointing to the corner, Sabir. Great minds thinking alike. Beautiful take again by Wajid Fahmy, and now Zahira setting up the small. Collapsed by St. Thomas's. That's a definite collapse. You've got to call that. Good work on the ground there by Adisha Handinpatirana. Ever so close, Zahira. This is the position they scored their last try from as well. Fahmy. Beautiful ball presentation. He's so disciplined in how he presents that ball. Good counter ruck by St. Thomas's, just delaying the ball a little bit, spoiling it for Zahira. But another superb leg drive. You can see how well drilled these Zahira forwards are. Their body positions are excellent. Almost getting the ball on the ground there. It's on the ground, but it's just inches short of the line. Pandula De Silva does well to hang on to that ball. He's got to release and roll away now. And yes, a penalty is coming. Ashwant Herat looked like he had just committed himself too early. Oh, lovely hands to Fahmy. He just can't get it down. His opposite number, Delisle, drags him down. That was excellent hands from Mohammad Zaid. Oh! That's him once again, wasn't it? That was Mohammad Fahmy just flying at the... No, it wasn't Fahmy. It was the other flanker just flying at the line. Good defense from Ferdinando there, and they've got numbers outside. And holding on, says the referee. I think that was a little harsh, Sabir. They need to allow the ball carrier just a couple of seconds to place the ball after the tackler has released him. But referee Didi Mali is being very, very strict. He's blowing the penalties very quickly.
But I thought Shanaka Ferdinando is tackle assist, so perhaps he was legal to do that. So
not unless the tackler has released him, Sabir. Not unless the tackler is released. So again, Danuja Vijayaratna not finding touch, but the knock on from Minaj Samsudin not helping. Navin Henakan Kanamge now trying to battle his way out of the half. They're on the 10-meter line inside their own territory, St. Thomas's. And now they've got numbers. Danuja Vijayaratna just has to straighten it. Shani Vahangama. Wayne Mack again with the offload to Vahangama. No pace in the attack. Oh, the pass was not so good, but Danuja Vijayaratna may be in for a first half hat-trick if he continues like this. Still fighting off players all on his own. Vijayaratna almost to the line and he scores! Can you believe that? Pretty much fended off 7 or 8 players all by himself. And you can see Zahira absolutely out on their feet. But Danuja Vijayaratna is single-handedly keeping this Zahira team at bay, Sabir.
credits to St. Thomas's Shanaka. Navin Henakan waiting for the referee's call. He didn't blow the whistle, although there was a knock on. He was led the play on. As a result, he was playing and sending out wide. But I thought there was a knock on when the forward sent that offload. He was running straight, but it's just touch and go, Shanaka. But he scored his hat-trick. What a play, what a day he's having, Shanaka.
Yeah, he's having a great day. Not the rest of the 14 men on the park as much as he is. But yes sir, you're talking about the pass that went to Ferdinando Sabir off Shani Vahangama's offload. It was not a great offload. Should have just been a pop in front of the player. But it went off the hand and it could have been ruled a knock-on. I've seen days where that has been called knock-on, but the referee ruled that it went back. So, and it did. I mean, it went back off the hands, but those have been called knock-on previously. Nice hush descending on the ground. The Zahira College supporters have stayed very quiet, which is always good to see. And it's good from Aswan Tahera, just managing to clear the crossbar. And that looks like it's half time, and St. Thomas's leading 19 points to 7 at the half. They'll have to come back with a much improved performance in the second 40 minutes of this game if they are to pose any threat to Royal if they go through. And just to remind you before you go for your break, for the first time in history, ThePapare.com sponsors the Under-19 Schools Basketball Tournament, the Papare Basketball Championship from 8 to 17 July. You can follow the live webcast from the quarterfinals onwards.
Day with a dream to win. Training, working hard, rain. How strong the other team is, nothing can stop me.
Nourishing Milo with its unique combination of chocolate, malted barley and B vitamins, together with the goodness of milk, brings out the winner in you. Milo, fueling the winning spirit.
Nestle, good food, good life.
කොහේ ගියත් කොතැන හිටියත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා පිලේ එංගලන්ත සංචාරයේ උණුසුම් අවස්ථා ඔබේ මොබයිල් එකෙන් සජීවීව ඩයලොග් මයි ටීවී වෙතින්ම පමණයි. ඩේටා කාස්තුවක් නොමැතිව දවසටම රුපියල් 333ක් වැනි සුළු මුදලකට ඇති තරම් නරඹන්න. ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ටයිප් කර 82කට SMS කරන්න. ඩයලොග් වෙතින් මයි ටීවී අනාගතය ආදයි.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee Krap! Can you give me data SIM? Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day.
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need.
Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1 for 1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialogue 1 for 1 prepaid plan. Dialogue, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialogue roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get dialogue roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries. With Dialogue roaming, clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here we are, can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
ළමයෝ දැන් ඩේටා වලට ඔච්චර ලෝභ වෙන්න ඕන නැහැ. ඔන්න ඩයලොග් හෝම් බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් එකේ ඩේටා ඩබල් වෙලා.
එහෙනම් ඩබල් ගෙවන්නත් වෙයි.
නෑ, තියෙන ඩේටා වගේ ඩබල් ලැබෙනවා පරණ ගානටම නොමිලේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංකකේ සහ වේගවත්ම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් සම්බන්ධතාවයෙන් දැන් රෑට ඩේටා ඩබල් වෙලා.
ඩේටා ඩබල්.
Dialog, අනාගතය ආදායි.
I start each day with a dream to win. Training, working hard, rain. How strong the other team is, nothing can stop me.
Nourishing Milo with its unique combination of chocolate, malted barley and B vitamins, together with the goodness of milk, brings out the winner in you. Milo, fueling the winning spirit.
Nestle, good food, good life.
කොහේ ගියත් කොතැන හිටියත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා පිලේ එංගලන්ත සංචාරයේ උණුසුම් අවස්ථා ඔබේ මොබයිල් එකෙන් සජීවීව ඩයලොග් මයි ටීවී වෙතින්ම පමණයි. ඩේටා කාස්තුවක් නොමැතිව දවසටම රුපියල් 333ක් වැනි සුළු මුදලකට ඇති තරම් නරඹන්න. ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ටයිප් කර 8282ට SMS කරන්න. ඩයලොග් වෙතින් මයි ටීවී අනාගතය ආදායි.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every step you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Progress starts with a dream. Through connectivity, technology, and talent, that dream can become a reality. Axiata, with you every step you take.
Welcome back to Royal College grounds, where we're bringing you the fourth and final quarterfinal between St. Thomas's and Zahira in the President's Trophy knockout tournament. It's a much closer game than I think St. Thomas's fans would have liked to anticipate, but it is very much a game that is in the balance at the moment. Zahira have played an outstanding half of rugby, even though they find themselves 19-7 down on the scoreboard, threatened the Thomian line quite a few times. And St. Thomas's, despite resting a few of their first team players, have had to bring a couple of those reinforcements back even before the halftime break. And because of the threat posed by the Zahira College team, referee Dean Mal has had a strict 40 minutes with the whistle. Let's see whether the referee coaches have told him anything at halftime. And it's 19 points to 7 in favour of St. Thomas's at this point. Danuja Vijayaratna has scored a first half hat-trick, Sabir. But if St. Thomas's play like this, Royal, who await the winner of this game in the semi-finals, will not be too worried at all, given the way they overcame Wesley yesterday.
Absolutely, Shanak. They played a fantastic game, especially their forward five. Wesley could not suck into forwards defence, especially Ayesh Madhuranga and Bari, all of them running through. But I'm sure the Royal players and the coaches are watching at this game. But if they win this game, Shanak, but they will definitely get a different mentality as well for the next game.
I certainly hope so, because this sort of performance will not see them past the Royal team. And if you're wondering when the finals and semi-finals are, the semi-finals will be this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And whoever makes it to the final, that is the winner of the Isipatana versus St. Peter's clash, will meet the winner of the Royal and winner of this game clash. And that will be on Saturday and Sunday, and we will see the finals played the Saturday after that. So lots of rugby still in store in the school season. Bhuvinda Dissanayaka started this game but had to go off due to an injury. And Hans Valpola has set up a couple of tries since then. He's done very well, the young fly half. So Coach Laga getting his wish of actually testing out a few youngsters. Wajid Fahmy in the scrum cap has been outstanding for Zahira College in the first half, and manages to help his team secure that ball as well. Beautiful charge down from Tehan Pereira, and Chanuka manages to get to his boot to it. Again, Fahmy there, just guilty of ball watching. He was standing as the guard for his scrum half, but he didn't notice from where the opposition player was coming. So just a little bit of a lapse in concentration. That's all that's required. Elias with the throw-in. They move the ball, and it's taken by Ishaq Hilmi that time. And a good drive through from Zahira. Good 4 or 5 meters. They managed to drive that ball. Here's Zaid with the left-footed punt. It sits up nicely for Henakan Kanamge, but he manages to break the first tackle. Beautiful run from the winger. Presents the ball nicely as well. And Dion Dias clears it. Valpola clears it quickly as well. Delisle manages to offload while going to ground. Here's Pandula De Silva, manages to get it away to Danuja Vijayaratna, who would have been in for his fourth try, but the referee says there was a forward pass there. So St. Thomas is once again trying to find the patterns that they played against St. Peter's, Sabir. I know you weren't there at that game, but that was probably their best performance so far. Everything went according to plan. They managed to find the pods of forwards within the three-quarter line. The three-quarters played well, and that's the sort of rhythm they have to find, which they haven't been able to do since that game.
That's right, Shanaka. They have to be absolutely clinical for the remaining minutes, and we saw Ashwant Herat's also coming into rucks few times.
Tight head one again by St. Thomas's, and Dion Dias manages to find, and again a forward pass. Sabir, yes, referee Dean Imal confirms that. So just a few errors, and this is where the ball carriers need to make sure that they get in front of the recipient, and the recipient needs to make sure that they get behind their ball carriers and don't overshoot. Coach Grant Dwyer used to always say that 50% of a forward pass is the receiver's fault.
Interesting. And the previous kick which Zaid put that straight into Naveen Henakan Kanamge. That's not the right option, but this time the scrum half was lucky enough to get a knock on.
And they do get a knock on this time.
It's getting a little bit clumsy by both the teams, Shanaka. I'm sure both the coaches would have given some good inspirational talks, especially Zahira in the first half, Shanaka. They came into the opposite 22. They could not score in the first 10 minutes, but they were leading at 1 point, 7 points to 5.
Much better scrum from St. Thomas's. It looked very much like Delisle broke early there. But
I think Shanaka, they're not concentrating on what to do on that scrum. They are trying to just work it out. They're not trying to be stable for another few seconds, 5 to 10 seconds.
It's been working so well for them in the first half, the scrum. They've actually won a couple of tight heads as well, which is unusual. That technique has been great. I know that Shamli Nawaz is a guy who really concentrates very hard on technique. And I'm not surprised this change is coming up as well. Sabir Shanal De Silva, who's hopefully recovered from that flu that he had just before the Isipatana game. This will make a difference to the Thomian attack, because Dias is a very different kind of scrum half, not as combative as Chuti. Ahangama presents the ball nicely for Shanal De Silva's first pass, and Valpola goes long, but Ferdinando or Mayon Jayawardene, who's come onto the park, can't hang on to it. So his first touch is not a good one. It's been an ice for quite a while since that injury he picked up in the first movement of the Royal game, Sabir. They really need him to be firing on all cylinders. Such a dangerous player from the back.
He is indeed, Shanaka, but he was feeling the pressure when the ball was given on high. High ball was an issue a bit. We saw that happening in the Isipatana game also.
I think the issue for him is that he may not have played fullback a lot of his life, Sabir, and that's why his positioning is not instinctive. Be good for him to work with someone like Riza Mubarak to figure out how to think about your positioning. And again, there he's got to run quite a distance to get to that ball, and the ball beats him into touch. So you've got to anticipate where the kicker is going to be going and move before the ball is kicked rather than after the ball is kicked. And that's an area of Mayon's game that he will do well to work on.
Absolutely, indeed. He had some quite a lot space to come to the ball, but he was not anticipating, like you said, Shanaka. But having said that, this line out, if Zahira could win this, they have won first 3 of the St. Thomas's line out. Fawmi is the man who stole that. It's a short line out this time.
Yes, they've already conceded in the scrum, and now they've conceded the moral victory to Zahira. Again, the ball bouncing unkindly for Pandula De Silva as he goes down after it. And the penalty again coming from the side, says the referee. That's another harsh call, I thought. Number 1, Tehan Pereira coming round. Not coming round, rather. Mohammad Zaid.
Perhaps Zaid could have done a little bit better on that kick, Shanaka.
Well, make sure you get into touch, Sabir, rather than going for distance. He didn't have a lot of angle, to be fair to him. Elias. They go to Hilmi. So that's a good change of tactic from Coach Nawaz. They've noticed that Fawmi is the main target man in the first half, and now they're going to Hilmi. It's a good drive from Zahira. The ball is available. And the scrum half, Amit, goes in after it.
There's a penalty advantage coming, but that's a lovely running angle once again. This time it's a skipper.
Yeah, it is again available for Amit. Puts a little snipe in, but the referee is coming all the way back for the penalty. No advantage coming. Not sure what that was for. And once again, the confidence in the line-out is there, Sabir.
Another opportunity coming, Shanaka. I think they have to take this line out with the first man. first jump for me is the ideal guy.
So no Serenayaka on the team sheet today. And Faumi is the man they go to, so that's a good drive. Good quick drive. They change the lanes. And Tehan Pereira does well to get in there and disrupt. That's the ball is behind Gunavijaya. Ferdinando makes an important tackle. There's a good run again by Dean. Really good body position in these breakdowns from Zahira. Unfortunately, they leave the ball. Hans Valpola tried to hack it forward. Should just have put his boot through the ball. But the knock forward is not coming. Referees missed that one. And now Danuja Vijayaratne has a little bit of space. Stepping back inside. Hassan Razik. Oh, and he puts in a loose pass, which was intercepted. And again, referee just not allowing any time for the players on the ground.
I think Shanaka coach Shamli Nawaz has to take Hassan Razik off because he's not committing for the tackle. He's just holding his arm. If you can see the previous 3 occasions, he's not even willing to compete in the ruck.
Yes, you can clearly see him holding his left shoulder. Got a feel for the boy because he wouldn't want to go off. Not in this game. But he must realize that it's for the betterment of his team if he does go off and brings in a genuine defender. So interesting option to go for the post, Sabir.
It is points will give lift your momentum, and this sometimes it's not games are not won just by tries. So every time you make some points, the opposite team will feel the pressure, especially when the deficit comes very close. And we still have plenty of time remaining, more than 30 minutes.
Everything to play for in this game still for both teams. Niran Gunavijaya will be the man to take the kick for Zahira. It's already put over a conversion for 2 points to his name today and strikes it beautifully. And takes Zahira up to 10 points. So Zahira have some reward for the penalties. The indiscipline that St. Thomas's have shown has been punished. I must say though, referee Dean Himal is being very strict at the breakdown. Maybe a little too strict on both teams. Not really able to get a flow to the game.
Well, 19 points is 7 Shanagan now. St. Thomas is pretty much playing their full strength.
Well, it should be 19-10 actually. Ashwanta Herat, nice hanging restart. Collected there by Nizra and Nila. And Shani Vahangama looks like he knocked it forward on the touchline. And the referee finally blowing. So Vahangama having to do duties that he usually doesn't do, playing the number 8, so he's hanging back for that kick. Not the easiest thing in the world, although it looks easy. Guys like Kieran Reid make playing number 8 look like a piece of cake, but it's not.
We saw some good high ball taken by Adish Veeratunga of Visipatana.
Number 8 off the back. That was Saifu. And just knocking that ball on. So it's getting a little scrappy from Zahira. But now Mayon Jayawardene has a chance to stretch his legs. Keeping the ball under his arm. Didn't really give himself very many options of offloading. And Ashwanta Herat now does offload to Ahangama. Good defense on him once again. And that's lovely quick hands to Navaratna. Shanal De Silva goes into the contact and wins the penalty. Tackler not rolling away there. Pandula De Silva with a long ball over the top to Handun Pathirana. Handun Pathirana stepping on the inside. He's got good lateral movement for a prop, this lad. Shenal De Silva throws the dummy off the base. Manages to make 5 meters. Now St. Thomas's will sense that this is where the dam breaks. Wayne Mack looks inside but opts to go himself. And again, a strict call. Technically probably right, but you've got to allow the tackled player to release the ball.
You can see Mac arguing with referee Dinimal. Perhaps he felt that he was perfectly legal.
I thought he was as well, Sabir. I think there have been a few too many of these immediate blow-ups, not allowing either team to get any sort of momentum into their attack.
$19 points to 10 Shanaka. Now St. Thomas are back with full 8-man lineout, but it's Zahira's lineout.
Ilyas to throw in. Wajid Fahmy goes up, but well stolen there from St. Thomas's, but it ricochets back into Zahira's hands, and well protected that time, the scrum half, Ahmed. And Ferdinando under pressure. Real pressure that time, but Mayon Jayawardena manages to get back and touch this down. I think the referee should probably have played advantage. I thought Mayon Jayawardena carried that over the line. A 5-meter scrum is surely better advantage than that knock-on. I was pretty sure Mayon Jayawardena carried that over the line.
I thought Shanaka, one leg is just outside the try line and one leg is inside the try line. He just placed the ball when the ball catches the whitewash. I'm not really sure, but we need a closer look up. We wish we had the replays.
You're a brave man to have noticed all that, Sabir.
I have done it, Shanak.
Again, it depends on whether the ball was travelling or not. That time it was travelling.
But we saw Ferdinando feeling that pressure. We saw previous match against
St. Anthony's,
St.
I think
Anthony's
it was.
also. When the kick is come at him, he's feeling the pressure.
Very much so. I think Danuja Vijayaratne is probably a better option on the wing. Zahira now. Long ball out. Henakan Kanamge, but again the execution is poor from Zahira. And now Danuja Vijayaratne throws the ball inside, but he's gone into touch. But there's a promising move from Zahira there. Just the pass went behind the man.
Yeah, trying to decoy, but that's the thing now. They were like formed really well on that occasion, Shanaka. Early on, they were playing so flat. Now, when you form deep, you get more space, but that guy is dangerous. You really cannot pass Navin Hinakan Kanami, but that's a good offload. But unfortunately, the support player could not hold on to it. I think it was Minhaj Samsudin.
Scrum is inside the 22, so Walpolo can clear this if he wants. He's not gone back into the pocket, so it looks like they might have a run here. I'd really like to see St. Thomas's using Navin Henakan Kanamge as a first receiver, maybe coming in off the blind side in moments like this. Maybe not in the 22, but that's a real pressure on Shani Vahangama. His front five aren't really making life very easy for him. We saw this problem against Sisipatana as well, Sabir, when Sachita Jatilaka just couldn't pick that ball up when it was coming back and when the scrum was retreating. That is a hugely important skill for a number 8 to have. And the guys I've seen do it best are Dushant Luke and Bilal Hassan. They do it so well when the scrum is going back. It really is a fundamental skill for number 8s. And you can see how they conceded possession. Nice commit. Oh, and again the execution is poor from Zahira. They've got the right idea, just not executing enough. Good run again from Ilyas. The referee calling a knock on. Did you see a knock on there? Was there? Okay.
He was knocking on Shanaka when the man Javardhan going into tackle.
Tehan Pereira's tackle it was, and I'd be looking at Tehan Pereira as a number 8 next year, Sabir, if I was part of this coaching team. Especially if Satsita Jayatilaka is moving out.
How about the hat-trick hero, Shanaka? Can he play next year as well?
I have no idea about Danuja Vijayaratna's availability, Sabir. And Henakan Kanamge once again. Oh, beautiful run from Navin. Looks like he's got very few players to beat now. Looking for Delisle. Is he going to go all in his own? No, he's not. Yes, he is. Oh, my goodness me. What a run from Navin Henakan Kanamge. I cannot believe it. Honestly, I would have expected him to pass the ball at least 3 times in that movement. But he backed himself. Started off 80 meters down the field on the opposite side of the pitch, and he would have run a good 140 meters to finish that try, Sabir.
Navin Henakan Kanamge, you are absolutely brilliant, Shanaka. You are mentioning about him coming as a first receiver, but it didn't matter. They knew that from that base scrum, you need to send it to him. But what a pace, what a lovely run. I thought at one instant that he almost went into the touch. But very calm, very composed. He know where he is running. He had the confidence of beating the defenders. Wow, just a wow.
That is an amazing finish. I don't think I've seen anything like that for a while, Sabir. That is just an outstanding individual finish. But give credit to the 8-9 move. I think it was a good decoy run by Vijayaratna as Ashwanta Herath misses that conversion. But, he put that over, did he? Yes, that did go over. Sorry, my apologies to Ashwanta. It's been a steady influence in this side even today. He hasn't done much spectacular since that DS Senanayaka game, but he has been a really steadying influence in midfield for St. Thomas's. But honestly, Sabir, I haven't seen a finish like that for a long, long while, not even in the international game. Looked like a sevens finish the way he ran. Shani Vahangama now needs to just let the ball go a little bit. Danuja Vijayaratna. Again, real physicality from the number 8 and letting the ball go. I think he got kicked in the head there on his way down, so he let go of the ball. And Zahira back on the attack and a penalty coming.
Once again, isolated running alone, but once again, using the 3 quarters are so flat, no numbers. This is what happened for St. Anthony's as well, Shanaga. That's quite interesting. Number 7 going for that drop goal. He knew that the penalty advantage is coming.
Well, we saw it yesterday as well, didn't we, Sabir? With the penalty advantage coming, we saw Walpitagama going for the drop goal, and unfortunately for his luck, it actually went. And once the drop goal goes, the referee can't call it back and give the penalty. And don't forget to tune in to Cricketry, the audio analysis of the Sri Lanka tour of England. That's on Cricketry. Catch the update on each match each day.
"19 minutes remaining, 26 points to 10. Zahira, rightly so, going into the touch. If they can, first they have to win this line out. If they can win, if they can score one more try, it'll be an interesting last 15 or so minutes.
Certainly will be. Muaz Musafir is on the park in the front of the line out for Zahira. Unfortunately, we're seeing a stretcher coming on the field in back play. Can't quite see who the player is that's being attended to. Looks like it is the hat-trick man for St. Thomas's, Danuja Vijayaratna. They won't want to lose him. So if St. Thomas's score here, or if Zahira score here and Danuja Vijayaratna is taken off, Zahira will get their tails up. Faumi once again in the wars. Presents the ball nicely. Good run from Muammardeen. Shani Vahangama comes straight through the middle, and the referee says, don't know what he's saying there. Leaving your feet is a signal. Hans Valpatha with a lovely technique on the drop punt. Really good clearance kick from close to the middle of the field there. So he's got good qualities, this young number 8. Number 10 rather.
We saw that earlier breakdown, Shanaga. St. Thomas' physicality. It was undone on that occasion, but Wayne Mack.
Looks like they've just given up jumping in the line out, Sabir. Christian Delisle. Rare run that he's made today. Ashwanta Herath. Ferdinando running a good line. Henakan Kanamge.
Wow.
It looked like a forward pass. I'm not sure it was. We obviously don't have the replay, but I thought the pass was marginal. I thought that pass was flat, but it was called by the touch judge. Sarit Nanekkara going in to help out Navin Henakan Kanamge, who got hammered after the whistle had blown. And it's good to see that that didn't end up in anything. Sabir Henakan Kanamge just walked away from that. There's no dramas. And that's how you want to see things end. I don't think the Zahira player needed to go in and have a go there. That was Samsudin. Looks like Razik has been replaced now. Shani Vahangama shadowed all the way from when he picked it up. Pandula De Silva, good run from the skipper. Ashwanta Herath needs to release this ball, and he does so. Oh dear, that's a shame that Hans Valpola couldn't hold on to it rather. Good hands from Zahira. Faumi throws in an inside pass. And I don't know what that was for. Was it did one of the Thomian players kick it on? Yeah, I think they did, and play in front of the referee.
Was in front,
defender was in front.
That was the call, Shanaga. That's a very good kick, Shanaga. Just looks like it's on the full. Referee Dinimal having a word.
Well, the touch judge was in no position to see it. I think he's taking Mayan Jawardana's reading of the situation. Mayan quite happy to assist the touch judge, but really the assistant referee should have been a little closer to the in-goal area. Looks like Mohammad Zaid is suffering a bit of a cramp. He's not going to let that take him off. Physio Basit just gives him a bit of gel to suck on, and he'll be right as rain. St. Thomas's have another chance. The execution has been really poor from both teams in attack. Just individual brilliance for the Thomians. Seeing the 4 tries being scored, and here's Henakan Kanamge once again shadowed into the corner by Samsudin. And referee Rohan Fernando has his flag up for foul play. Don't know why the referee hasn't blown it. And we'll see if referee Fernando walks in. He does.
I think Navin missed his footing, Shanak. He was going to the ground. He slipped on that occasion. So the tackle player, it looked a bit high. I'm not sure whether a yellow card is going to come. Looks like.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame. It might have been a block tackle or a high tackle. One of the two. Not sure either of them deserved yellow card, but the touch judge intervened, left no option. And that's a big blow for Zahira. He's been their best player on the park so far, Wajid Fahmy. That's a real hammer blow for them. Assistant referee Rohan Fernando on the far side. It's an early lift from Zahira.
Early lift, but then again delay throw. I'm not sure which should award it first.
Well, I don't know which should be awarded first. Absolutely, Sabir. The only reason that Pandula De Silva didn't throw in was because of the early lift. So, not 10 meters, says the referee, and he it's very confusing hand signals. And Gunavijaya will put this into touch. Only got Hilmi as a line-out option now with Fahmy on the naughty chair.
And you can also see Coach Laga sitting relaxed, as he always does.
Well, he's a chilled-out individual, Sabir. He loses his temper, but it's never going to be dramatic. He'll tell you what he feels. But he's not going to get upset and wave his arms about at refereeing decisions. I think he's going to leave all that to Dinesh.
Another short line out this time. Overcooked it, Wayne Mack.
Mack protects the ball without looking for the offload, which is a sensible thing to do. And now Walpola, lovely angle from Ashwanta Herat. Goes on his own. Sarit Nanyakara was screaming for it outside, and now he gives it. Mayan Jayawardene catches the ball, and lovely offload for him as well to Gunaratna, Pasan Gunaratna, who was supporting. But I think Ashwanta Herat should probably have given that first time after he drew the last man, should have given it to Sarit Nanyakara. They would have been in under the posts.
That was his mistake even in the first round, isn't it, Chana? Playing a little more selfish when you need to pass, you're not passing it.
Well, the thing is, he knows he's a strong runner, Sabir, so he knows he can bump players off, but if it doesn't work, sometimes you lose the momentum of the move, and I think he's got to look for that first time pass as well, to just to add a little bit of a dimension to his game. Good line out win from Zahira under pressure. But if his distribution gets a little better, I think he will be a very good second choice to Kushan Indunil in the school season, because I think he's got all the attributes. It's just that his distribution, he's got the skill, he just needs to learn when to do it.
Plus he's also a good place kicker, that added some advantage.
Vice captain coming onto the pitch, that's Malinda Deshapriya in the number 3 jersey for St. Thomas's, and also a replacement for Zahira. Look like it's Amjad Fahmy who has come on, or Shamim Nazar. Again, another mistake in the line out, and the line out has really let St. Thomas's down today, Sabir. Without Senanayaka probably making the calls, looks like it's a different animal altogether.
Indeed, Shana, they need to do some huge amount of training in the coming week.
Senal De Silva profiting from that wheel. Walpola gets it out quickly, and that's better from Sarit Nanyakara as well. And now going on the outside, Navin Henekan Kanamge. They're not going to stop him from that distance. Oh, what a beautiful try once again. Sabir, what I love about this boy is that he's brought back the classical wingers play. He just goes on the outside. He's a big strong lad, but it's none of this Julian Savea, Jonah Lomu bashing into people, running. It's just burning people on the outside, and that's wonderful to watch.
It almost feels like the way Anirudh the Wilver runs, Shanaka. He just steps from his left foot and just goes into the corner. But I'm not sure whether Navin can step from both the feet. I'm not sure. I haven't seen he's doing that from his right foot quite often.
Yes, he does step in off his right foot, which is why he's on the right wing. as well, Sabir. But I wrote recently on one of my blog posts that I think he's the most devastating back St. Thomas's have had since Aniruddha Vilavara. And you can see why. He just, from a standing start, he manages to burn the opposition winger on the outside and just beat players for pure pace. And when he needs the strength, it's there as well. So he really is the complete winger.
He is indeed the highest try scorer, who scored 12 tries in the concluded single leg.
Another nice low kick from Ashwanta Herat from a difficult angle as well.
And that is pretty much the final nail on the coffin, Shanaka. But I'm sure that Zahira can take some points, especially they are going for the second round. I know there's still 8 minutes remaining, but when they go for A division rather next season, there's a lot to take from this game.
Absolutely. I think they've performed really well. I think they're just maybe a couple of players short of being an A division side, and I think that is something that they have to work on in the off season. But their set pieces have been outstanding. And they've just got the goods. They just need to polish it up a little bit before entering the A division next year. But I'll tell you what, Sabir, I'm looking forward to Navin playing knocked on by Adisha Hadunpatrana. He knocks it on twice for good measure. And just a little bit of relaxation in the Thomian pack at the moment probably. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Navin playing outside Kushan Idunil and Sumudu Rankotke for the Sri Lanka schools team. I'm sure that's going to be the combination. I cannot for the life of me imagine that the selectors would think any differently. But if you see him playing outside those two boys, I think that's going to be a treat to watch.
It will be indeed. And this time so much pressure coming from St. Thomas's. Also, Shanaka was talking about the Sri Lanka under-20s. That will be in December. And the venue is not decided by the AFU. But till then, Shanaka, Sri Lanka also participating for the All-Island Sevens. I mean, All-Asian Sevens rather. And Navin is one option.
Yes, he is probably one of the first names on the team sheet, I would think, along with Indunil and Rankotge. Zahira still trying hard. They're not giving this game up for sure. Oh, lovely burst straight through the middle. Gets the offload away. Elias. Oh no, he's just knocked it on. Just knocked it on. Can see the frustration on the face. It was a lovely offload. Just couldn't collect it off the bootlaces.
I think it was the skipper Mohammad Ramzan.
It is indeed skipper Ramzan Hamid. Shani Vahangama picks up at the back. Shenal De Silva with a little chip kick for Navin, and Navin beats the man on the outside. They're not going to catch up with him here. What a wonderful try again. Outstanding stuff from Shenal De Silva.
Great communication. He knew that, Navin knew that he is going to kick, but look at the placement of that kick, Shanaka. Lovely pitch of a punt kick, and Navin timing his kick into perfection, and there he goes. Well, one-on-one, you cannot catch him at all.
Well, as once he collected the ball, that was the end of that. It's see you later, chum. But Senal De Silva, what a cute little kick that was. I'm not sure whether it was something that they talked about or something that they practiced, or whether it was just an instinct thing. Or whatever it was beautiful to watch. And Danuja Vijayaratne and Navin Henakan Kanamge have saved Sabir, if I could say that word. They've saved the scoreboard from what has been a pretty average team performance from St. Thomas's. The team itself has not played brilliantly, but these two guys have really added a lot of colour to this performance and added the numbers to the scoreboard.
Indeed, look at the disappointing Zahira bench. But that communication is eye communication, Shanaka. Eyes talks when you play.
And that time just a little too low. Not getting over the crossbar from Herat. So knocked one over from almost the identical position a little earlier. Dan Pereira collecting it clean that time. You can see kickers identifying what they think is a weak link, and they went for him again, but that time he was up to the task. Walpola. Good hands to Pereira once again. And now they've got numbers. Walpola puts the hammer down. Needs to give it. Does so. Mayon Jayawardena fends one. Looks for the offload. And eventually Gunaratna bundled into touch. Gunavijay being given a small talking to by the referee. That's an interesting one. We've seen Ruchira Fernando coming onto the park as well. Another front row forward that St. Thomas's have in their reserves. Walpola has done well in this game, Hans Walpola, since he came on. Early doors for Bhuminda Dissanayaka, the experienced Bhuminda Dissanayaka. Senal De Silva. The game has changed since he came on. Big hit from Wajid Fahmy on Christian Delisle. Walpola. Hadun Pathirana, who's had a strong game, played all 80 minutes. Good pickup from Ashwanta Herath, playing like a forward. Shanuk Pereira, but unlucky there. Really unlucky. Don't forget, you can log on to the recap on thepapare.com at 6:30 p.m. every day for the recap, your daily sports update, which brings you the day's news and information from the sporting arena. I thought Fahmy was really unlucky there. I thought he had rights to the ball, but doesn't matter now because referee Dinimal has given the penalty to St. Thomas's in the final minute. They'd want to cap this off with a 40-point performance. Just send a message to Royal.
They will be taking on Royal in the same venue where they beat Royal in the last minute try.
Well, talking about the man of the match, Sabir, I don't have to look any further. I know it's in a losing cause, but this lad Wajid Fahmy has been my man of the match. He's done everything for his team. I know he's come up against a stronger pack, but we've got two hat-trick try scorers on both for St. Thomas's. But for me, it's not often that a losing player is the best player on the park, but Wajid Fahmy has been that by a country mile.
I completely agree with you, Shanaka. Despite the try hat-trick scorers, Naveen and Danuja, Wajid created so much problem as Mayon Jayawardena steps. And going inside, this perhaps could be the last move. Good tackle coming on him.
His line-out work, his attacking support play, and the two hits that he's just put, one on Pandula De Silva and another one just now on Christian Delisle. He's done the complete job that his team and his coach expected of him. Still full of running. Another penalty.
These are the few talents, Chanak. I'm not sure whether schools union or schools rugby association will identify any talents from the segment 2, because there's so much talents. We saw some good talents from Prince of Wales coming in, and also from Mahanama.
Well, they did take a few players, and that one is knocked down deliberately. Referee only gives the knock forward. Seen quite a few of those players. I think we had a player from DS last year who played on the wing for
Buddhima Piyaratna.
Yeah. So they do pick up these rough diamonds. The unique platform to voice your opinion, quickly put together passage or fully blown blog on our beloved game. Send in your contributions to the editor at ThePapare.com and you'll get a free hit on ThePapare.com. Handun Patirana, Chanel De Silva, Tehan Pereira, Navaratna, who's had a quiet game. Good rip from Malinda Deshapriya again. Excellent technique from the tight head prop. And here's the ball to Hans Valpola. Wow. Attacking it at pace is Ashwanta Herat. He really needed to pass the ball there. Oh dear. Ashwanta Herat has let 2 tries go a-begging. Needs to pass the ball once he breaks the defensive line. Delisle to Tehan Pereira. Looking blindside once again is Chanel De Silva, and now going over for his first try for St. Thomas's is Navaratna, Abhita Navaratna. Did really well to take that try, and it looks like Mayon Jayawardena has suffered an injury in back play while that try was being scored. It doesn't look good. His ankle is doesn't look good at all there. And if he's not fit for next week's or this weekend's game against Royal, find the blue and gold boys just fancying their chances to meet Isipatana once again.
Yes, indeed. He's a key figure. We have been talking about Mayon Jayawardena. His running game was solid. His combination with Henakan Kanamge was quite brilliant.
And the try is given.
But the way Zahira played in the first half, Coach Laga didn't have much clue rather than sending the bench players who he wanted to have a go.
Absolutely, Sabi. That's a moral victory for Zahira because early on in the piece they had to send in the 2 tight 5 forwards, which St. Thomas is obviously expected to dominate in the scrum, and because they weren't dominating, they had to send in those starters, and they actually stopped jumping in the line out as well. Another moral victory for Zahira. So St. Thomas's need to go home and do some work on their set pieces. They need to do some work on their execution as well, the patterns. They need to maybe up the intensity of their training a little bit in the next couple of days. Today is Tuesday, so they've got a game probably on Sunday. So I would imagine that Thursday and Friday are going to be tough days at training. And that's a full-time whistle, and St. Thomas's beat Zahira by 43 points to 10, but not disgraced in any way. This Zahira team, they came to play, and play they did. 2 hat-tricks from Danuja Vijayaratna and Navin Henakan Kanamge, saving the blushes of an average team performance from the Thomians. 3 brilliantly taken tries from Navin Henakan Kanamge in the second half, and in the first half some power play from Danuja Vijayaratna, resulting in the 6 tries that were scored by the Thomians. Hans Valpola coming on early for Buvinda Disanayak and playing pretty well in the fly half jersey. He looks like he'll be a potential starter in the next game against Royal, which will be on Sunday. And on Saturday we will have Isipatana taking on St. Peter's, and they will obviously be favourites for this game. Good to see a tunnel being formed as well by the Thomians. As you see the final statistics, 7 tries for St. Thomas's, 4 conversions, and we had 1 penalty, 1 conversion and 1 try for Zahira. That was early on in the piece. So the Thomian defense did hold, but their set piece needs to be much better if they are to really make trouble for Royal. So good to see the spirit in which this game has been played as well. And that's pretty much the end of that, Sabir, and we'll bring you the action from the semi-finals on Saturday and Sunday. Isipatana taking on St. Peter's on Saturday. St. Thomas's taking on Royal at Royal Grounds again on Sunday, and it will be a superb couple of semi-finals. That much is guaranteed. We'll see you for those on ThePapare.com.
I start each day with a dream to win. Training, working hard, rain. How strong the other team is, nothing can stop me.
Nourishing Milo with its unique combination of chocolate, malted barley and B vitamins, together with the goodness of milk, brings out the winner in you. Milo, fueling the winning spirit.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
කොහේ ගියත් කොතැන හිටියත් ශ්‍රී ලංකාපිලේ එංගලන්ත සංචාරයේ උණුසුම් අවස්ථා ඔබේ මොබයිල් එකෙන් සජීවීව ඩයලොග් මයි ටීවී වෙතින්ම පමණයි. ඩේටා කාස්තුවක් නොමැතිව දවසටම රුපියල් 333ක් වැනි සුළු මුදලකට ඇති තරම් නරඹන්න. ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ටයිප් කර 8282ට SMS කරන්න. ඩයලොග් වෙතින් මයි ටීවී අනාගතය ආදයි.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching. Every step you take, every move you make, every game you play, every word you say, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Progress starts with a dream. Through connectivity, technology, and talent, that dream can become a reality. Axiata, with you every step you take.